Well, hi there, Bob.
Ben.
Hi, everyone out there, party people. Welcome
Woo!
to another installment of Beers with Bob and Ben.
Mhm.
So we've got a pretty cool beer to talk about today. It's our 14th anniversary. It's really celebrating 14 years of making beer, which is pretty incredible. And in the past we've done big 750 bottle releases, but this year, kind of like last year, we're trying something a little bit different. We're releasing a single can. That's what we do the best is cans, and we're putting it into an individual box. So here is 14. Might be hard to see, but it's a beautiful box, kind of gold embossed, old-fashioned kind of a script on there, but it turned out really nice. And inside, we've got the can here, so you can see it's got the same artwork. And really nice. You can share this. You can have it by yourself. It's a little bit easier to drink at home alone when you don't have a huge bottle to do so with. And the beer itself is, at the base, it's a barley wine, but it's a little bit more complex than that. But let's open it up, and then we can talk about the beer.
Yeah, enough chit chat. Let's get sipping.
Here, I'll pour some for me, and then I'll pass it over to you, Bob.
Wunderbar.
All right, here you go, man.
Thank you. Boom.
There you go. So it's a
Cheers,
nice
man.
kind of orangish, almost amber color. Really, it's hard to see here, but really nice clarity, nice foam too. Wow, it definitely smells like a barley wine.
Just the nose is gorgeous, man.
Cheers, Bob.
Cheers.
So what is 14? Like I said, at the base, it's a barley wine, but with our other anniversary beers, we don't kind of just stick within style guidelines. We want to broaden it, make it a little bit more complex, give us as brewers a little bit of a challenge as well. So with this beer, we kind of a little bit more of a hybrid. There's some wheat malt in there. There's actually no crystal malt, which is not typical of a barley wine. And then we aged it in Parker Heritage barrels. Parker Heritage is a release by Heaven Hill. They release one distinct whiskey every year, and it's always different. So we got 100% of the barrels for their 2020 release, which is a heavy char barrel wheat whiskey. So hence the use of a little bit of wheat in the recipe to kind of accentuate the wheat whiskey. And that heavy char is going to give you some really interesting notes. I feel like a lot more vanilla than like a lower char. It gets kind of that marshmallow, kind of accentuates the sweetness of the beer.
Yeah, it comes into almost like a vanilla and custard type territory, which is really, really nice. And I think the wheat in the malt bill actually is really, really nice too. And that kind of like chewiness, you often use wheat for a little bit more body, kind of in whiskey as well as in beer. And I think for this barley wine, it just kind of makes it really, really nice and a little bit more mellow. Sometimes with barley wine, especially in my early days of drinking craft beer, I would often like seek barley wines out, mostly for the ABV to OZ ratio. Not quite as much nowadays. So I mean, I'm just don't seek them out nearly as much. But this is really, really nice and a little bit more mellow for a barley wine. I think it would be a good introductory barley wine for a lot of people. But I also think people who really, really like barley wines would appreciate the kind of like intricacies going on here, because you're right, that toast too does give it really, really different type character.
Yeah, and to add even more complexity, when we finished the beer, we decided to pull in some spirit barrels that we had filled with from Tattersall. So we took some of the base beer and put it in a couple other barrels, so it's a very small percentage of the final blend. But I wanted to give it a little bit more complexity in line with kind of a cocktail. I was thinking about Manhattans. When I was last winter, when we were starting to think about this beer, drinking an interesting historical cocktail called the Hanky Panky, which is gin, vermouth, and Fernet. As you know, I'm a big Fernet guy. So having some of these barrels from Tattersall available really allowed us to kind of add some finishing touches, much like a bitters or a little bit of vermouth in a cocktail would. And that gives it a little bit of a broader flavor profile. It's a little bit more multi-dimensional than just the single barrel aged beer. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. it's just nice. It's warming as you drink it, which right now, winter's in full swing already here in Minnesota, which I guess we shouldn't be surprised at, but it's a perfect beer as fall transitions into winter. If you've got a fireplace at home, which I don't, unfortunately, light it up, crack one of these and sit in front of it, or maybe if you're brave enough, it's great outside next to a fire.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, it's that finish is, when you're talking about cocktails, it's really nice. It does have like a hint of almost like anise, a little bit of that kind of fernet or whatnot. And maybe that comes from the Tattersall. I'm not exactly sure, but it's very subtle at the tail end, but it's really, really nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is awesome. So, yeah, it's on shelves now again. Cool single box. Buy two, drink one now. Lay the other one down for a while. It'll actually age very nicely in a can. You get, obviously, no light. Bottles can get some light damage over time, and it seals just as well, so you're not going to have any oxygen ingress. So it should actually age in your cellar quite nicely. It'll be really interesting to pull this one out in a year and see how it's doing.
Yeah, I'm excited to taste it as it even goes more mellow. It's gonna be,
yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
All right, Bob. Well, great to see you, man. Cheers. Enjoy. Be safe. Be healthy.
Gonna try.
See you on the flip side.
Will do. Cheers, bud.
Cheers.